I'm ready, mommy.
Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2.
That was for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at?
Where My Mom's At podcast with Christina P.
Thank you for watching me on YouTube and listening. Here we go, Christina P online. Guys, I'm coming to Tampa this weekend at the Improv there. And then look, I don't know when Cap City's opening. They're opening a new location at the Domain, but I will be there once that is up and running. I go to Charlotte, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone, and then one night in Austin at the Stateside at the Paramount Theater. I do one night in LA at the Regent Theater for the Netflix festival. It should be fun. And then Minneapolis Tits, May 6th and 7th at Acme, Irvine Improv in May. You bet I'm coming up in May. Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Borgata, Boston Massive Huge Tits at the Wilbur, June 5th, and then Hilarities in Cleveland, August 12th, 13th. Oh, and then Zanies is up on the board. Gashville, October 6th, 7th, and 8th. What a fun time. ChristinaPOnline.com for tickets. What else? Subscribe to this show if you haven't already. And with me today is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. We've been friends since we were 12 years old. So this person and I have a connection probably unlike any other human being. Jenny Pentland, everybody clap your hands. Whoop, whoop. Mother, author. She just wrote a book, This Will Be Funny Later. You can buy it everywhere. Why did you give that? Are you like?
I was doing my author. I'm an author.
Are you an author?
At the camera.
How does it feel to be an author now?
I don't know. I haven't processed any of this yet. That's my thing, is to put everything on the back burner to process later. Hence the title, This Will Be Funny Later.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
I processed the first half of my life and made a whole nother lot of things to process in the writing of this book. And there'll probably be another one called That Wasn't Funny at All. I was wrong.
Man, it's true. You're on a time delay with your processing, is what you're saying. Like
my life just moves really fast, and there's a lot of things always going on. And yeah, I'm hyper present, I think. Maybe that's part of the neurosis thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, I have to process things later because I can't do it in the moment.
I have a hard time doing that too. I think that's like part of the human condition. Well, I think mostly you have a hard time processing is because you don't have time to have feelings.
Sure.
You have 5 children.
Yep.
5, and to be specific, 5 boys.
Yep.
The last one of which you had a year and a half ago. We're the same age. You're 45. Yeah. How are you alive right now?
I don't know. I just wake up every morning like, what was that Drew Barrymore movie where she wakes up?
I thought you said Drew Barrymore.
Maybe I did. Who can even say?
Is she a tribe member? Sorry, but which one? Oh, the blind dates with Adam Sandler.
Like I feel like that a lot of times. I wake up and I'm like, oh shit, I got 5 kids. I'm nursing one of them. Like every day is like that.
You have to play the tape that reminds you. Like
I do. I play the mental tape.
Are.
Like, oh fuck, yeah, that's totally what happens every single morning. Every morning.
I think I do the same.
Yeah, I think maybe everybody don't know that they do that.
Like I literally, like some mornings I wake up so regressed. I think when I have bad, because I watch Euphoria, as we were just together. I watch Euphoria. I have horrendous dreams about my own life and my past, and then I wake up thoroughly regressed and panicked, and then I have to go like, oh shit, I'm a 45-year-old mother of 2.
Yes,
I'm a fucking adult.
I wonder if everybody does. Like, you have to reprocess that on some level. Like, you can't remember that while you're asleep. That's the point of sleep, right?
You
regroup, and then you wake up and you're like, okay, who am I? It's sort of like a mushroom trip, like every night. Coming out of it.
Probably doesn't help that I've been drinking a lot lately.
It probably helps that you have. It probably actually helps a lot that you have.
Since my father-in-law died, I've been like, I just gotta drink again. Yeah. But wow, so 5 boys is.
Speaking of drinking, you have 5 boys.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, look, I only have 2 and they're 3 and 6. And this is the face, like, I do this a lot. I'm always like, because it's a lot. And it's, and I've tried to really, especially as a comedian, I want to pinpoint what it is. And it's such a dichotomy of life, because you're like, on the one hand, it is profound suffering. Yeah. It is relentless giving, and it is relentless. Yeah. And then like last night, the boys crawled in bed with me at 2 a.m, and it was like the best. Yeah. It's the fuck. And then you're like, oh my God, my heart's going to explode.
It's worth it. Yeah. And then you wake up and then you run the tape and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. And then they're wiping asses. And then
you're
they're
like, oh, that means breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. It's a lot. It is a lot. It is relentless. It's constant. It's a lot. But like, you know, at the end of the day, like I always think, what am I going to think on my deathbed? Like,
same.
Yeah. I'm constantly thinking about dying.
You've done ketamine.
No, I have never. I don't need ketamine. I don't do drugs because I'm like this naturally. And if I do drugs, it gets real bad real fast.
Sure. That's why I like you, though. You're very conscious.
I can't do it. It's unfortunate. Yeah.
You and I are always on an acid trip. That's why I love you.
Nobody really gets me until they get super high around me. And then I'm like, yeah, now we can talk. Like, yeah. Everybody's like, you get contact high. I'm like, no. You just got
Jenny P. Yeah. Jenny Pentland, bitch.
Yeah, you're just getting it now. Yeah. You get me now. Yeah. It's true. Like I do really well when everybody around me is on mushrooms.
Yeah. Because we don't do chit chat very well. I don't do very, very well.
No.
So it's funny because I think you and we started talking about this too. We're both 45. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we've known each other since we were 12.
Yeah.
12. Yeah. And so we've been through so much of life, and you go like 45. To me, I am firmly in middle age. Yeah. And you're like, I know why people buy Ferraris. Like I see now, because it's mundane. You're firmly entrenched in the mundane day-to-dayness of like, wake up, the breakfast with the kids, get the kids to school, pack the lunches. Oh, fuck, is today fucking spirit day? Fuck, he didn't wear the spirit shirt to the thing. And then I got to go Thursday, I have drinks with the Kinder Moms. And like, it's just that mundane shit.
Yeah.
And you feel simultaneously trapped.
Yeah.
Simultaneously grateful.
Yeah.
And miserable, and then really happy at the same time.
It's the roller coaster thing. It's like that you don't feel the same from one second to the next. And like one little thing, I don't know if everybody's as emotional as me, but like one little thing, like I'll just look over the whole, like I had a huge meltdown like 8 years ago or something. And the whole thing, like you would think all the things I've been through in my life that this big event would have set me off, but I like gazed over at my kid. I gazed over at my 13-year-old and I was like, he looks like me when I was that age. And then it was like every single thing I'd ever been through, what I was going through at that period of time. And I just spiraled. But I think it's, you don't know what's going to do that to you.
Oh,
and you think it's like, oh, my kid graduating from school. And it's like, no, that fucking literally felt like nothing.
Yeah.
That did nothing for me. But but then they just sit there and like make a little face to the side and you're like, oh,
that literally
Jesus.
Felt like nothing.
Yeah, that was fucking nothing. Come on.
That is so true, because
graduating kindergarten.
Yeah.
Well, now you graduate
off.
from everything. Yeah. I'm like, okay. All right. My kid's probably going to drop out in second grade like the rest of them. So like, I'm not real concerned about the schools for my kids, because
I'm not either. I'm not really hung up on the achievement of that banal. Because, the older you get, you're just like, you're supposed to pretend like all that stuff matters so your kids don't completely fail out.
I don't try anymore. They can tell. They can read my face. I'm like, yeah. I think also because we're old. Like when I was 23, I had my first kid when I was like 24. And that was a wholly different experience because I was like growing up with him. So those kind of things were really important to me, like the doing all the right things. And I slowly just kind of fell off, like where it started being like, okay, you're dropping your kid off to school in your pajamas. And then the other moms would make fun of me. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm wearing this all day.
You're
this
lucky.
If you see it tomorrow, you might see the same outfit tomorrow. So just shut your fucking mouth. But like it started like that. I was doing everything right. And then
exhausting.
I had so many kids. I was like, there was no way I could do everything right by all of them. So then I started going, do I really need to do everything right? Like, what can I like get by with? Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to show up to school on time. They were in a private school. I'm paying for it. Like, my mommy's paying for it. But I don't have to show up on time. I don't have to.
You're paying
I
them.
don't have to have an outfit on. And I'm not going to park where you tell me to fucking park, because they run over to my car and open my doors and shit would spill. I'm like, don't touch my door. Don't touch the door of this car. I will get my own kids out at my own pace. And it was slower than everyone else's. But then everybody called me tardy mom for a little while because I was late to everything.
Tardy mom sounds like a different reason.
Yeah, but it was because I was late. I think.
Not the other way.
I think that's why.
I hope. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Either
what a bunch
way,
of jerks.
it's true. Either way, it was true. And
Tardy
then I
mom.
just
She's a tardy mom.
yeah, they're like,
tardy
because they
mom.
kept saying, "Oh, you're tardy," and they would call me, "Your kid was tardy," and
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
"Was
know.
he there? Did he show up?
Yeah.
Get your whatever." I
You're like, I know he's tardy. I was the one that made him that way.
I'm like, they punished my kid, and I actually had to call and be like, you know that my 6-year-old can't fucking drive, right? Take that off his record right now and put it on mine. Put it on my record. You have a record there for me. I'm sure you do. Then you can just, after 50 tardies, call CPS or something. But for now, I had to actually call them and say, my kid is tardy because he cannot drive, because he's 6. And if he could drive, he'd be on time. Because trust me, he's in the car going, fuck, you've made me tardy again. over and over every morning.
Well, it's a pain. And I don't think people understand, just getting, at least getting a 3 and a 6-year-old to go to the grocery store.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It is it's the 5th ring of hell. Just get in the car, put your shoes on, put your fucking shoes on.
Both shoes, right feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get down. Okay. You have to wear a jacket. I don't want to wear a jacket. Wear the fucking jacket. It's cold outside. It's snowing. Get in the jacket. I want to buckle myself. Oh, fuck. Here we go. And then there's the I want to buckle myself fight. I want to close my own door. Okay. I want to do it again. Okay. It's like I Juju threw a fit, my 3-year-old, because I wouldn't let him close his own door the 3rd time. I was like, no, we're going. We're zooming. I can't get anywhere on time either.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
And everybody's mean about it. And I'm like, you try it. Everybody
Good luck.
I always had friends that didn't have kids when I was 24. I was
that's
the youngest.
different.
Yeah. And I lived in LA. So basically I was a teen mom. But in Colorado as an old wife already.
Everywhere else in the country is
everywhere else as an
normal.
old maid at 24. Oh, she really cares about her career or something. But everybody in California was like, what are you doing? I remember people when I said I was pregnant, what are you doing? You're throwing it all away. And I was like, you guys are hideous. Not everybody cares about. I just, maybe I didn't have any aspirations.
No, I'll tell you what it is. Because I've known you since we were kids, literally children. You have wanted to be a mother since you were fucking 12, bro.
I was born like that. That's the first line of my book is something about being born a breeder. Because I knew right away, I'm like, all right, let's get this fucking shit on the road.
It's what you wanted very early. I mean, you carried around a baby doll with you when we were 12.
The doll was goth. It had a pentagram drawn on its stomach.
Of course it did. But, God, that was a good time.
Some of it was for shock. It wasn't all because I'm completely insane and have arrested development from PTSD. Some of it's just because I was cool and avant-garde.
I have news for you. I have since found out that goth is not cool.
God damn it. Don't tell me that.
Well, I've been asking people. I've been discussing it with them.
I can tell because they're cackling from the other room.
Yeah.
You guys just don't understand. That's all.
That's what I think.
Whatever.
I was under the...
This is part of being goth, is having people who are not cool laugh at you.
I was trying to fucking explain that shit to them. Because they're like, no, Star Trek nerds are just as lame as goth people. And I was like, dude, no. In the hierarchy of cool, Star Trek nerds are fucking way down here, bro.
Yeah, they're bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're at the bottom.
Bottom, bitch. Goth
In the
nerds,
pecking order, it's like punk.
Yeah,
goth,
punk is number 1.
You guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Finally, someone that fucking gets it on this show. Been saying this shit for years. They don't get it. These kids, they don't get that cool.
Yeah,
it's like,
true.
You know what I mean? I think because now everybody gets to have fucking feelings and rights and stuff. And it's like when we were growing up,
That's true.
You were either rich and hot.
Yeah.
Or you just were a fucking loser. So you had to find a way to survive. Either you could afford Guess jeans or you just didn't. You didn't
You were
fit
either
in.
shallow or deep. I think you could afford to be shallow, then you would, no matter how much you try to convince yourself otherwise.
Yeah.
And if you were poor, then you were deep. And
Yeah.
that-
I know, it's so funny because everybody is like, inclusivity. I'm like, if Just
That
be
would've
lower.
killed us.
Just be lower middle class. Like I lived inclusively just because I was fucking not poor, but do you understand? Like the apartment complex I grew up in with my
you
single
were in an apartment.
mom.
That counts in LA.
Yeah, bro. Like it was the melting pot. There was everybody there. So shut the fuck up, white people, is my point. Anyway, the point of the story is, what are we talking about? Midlife crisis.
Yeah. Brought on by children.
Yeah.
And we were talking about being older parents, because I think that does, it plays into it in a different way, knowing that I've been a younger parent.
Yes, I agree. So I wonder what's the trick. So you're someone that's like, because I'm friends with somebody too that became a mother at 18.
Yeah.
And so like, when you're always a mother, you just don't know any different. So I'm wondering what the difference is between somebody like me, who I had a whole fucking life, and then at 40 decided to become a first-time mom. And I'm like, that is insanity.
I know a lot of people who did it the same way as you, probably more in my friend group than who did what I did, which was have kids early for LA or whatever. Yeah. But it's a totally different mindset, because you've had time to develop a personality and to get used to certain things like free time and showering. I never got used to showering, so I don't know what I'm missing. Like that, I never did that, and I'm not ever going to, apparently, because now I have a 1-year-old and I live in a trailer. So.
Well, that's the thing, is what I don't want to say worse, but what is the difference of experience? Like, what is my experience and in relation to yours? Just because like I did have all these things and now I'm like, that's all gone. And whereas like, would I be better off just never having known the other side of the force?
I think you just have to let go of all you got to let go of a lot of things, and the outside information is the first place that goes. And for me, being 23, and I kind of felt like people were looking at me weird, and like people would say things to me like, "Are you married?" And they'd like look at my ring. I lived in the Jewish area in LA when I was there, so it was like they were trying to, and I looked.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that.
He gets so mad. He knows that area.
It's a hard area. I was right there on Olympic, and it was hard.
Hasidic highway.
It's the highway.
Isn't that what they call it, the Hasidic highway? No, that's the one.
I've never heard that before.
Hollywood.
That's Pico. Well, there's two probably, but I live between Pico and Olympic in this area right by. There's a bunch of temples there and stuff, and like Friday and Saturday I couldn't back my car out because everybody was walking by, and like
the dog loves that.
It was fun.
Did they throw rocks at you?
No, I don't think that I look like white enough that I'm passable, so that they just thought somebody infiltrated their neighborhood, I think, instead. Unless I was wearing my temple gear, because I did go to temple every once in a while. I dated a rabbi.
That's my favorite thing about you. Fuck the 5 kids. I love that you dated the rabbi. How? I didn't know you were allowed to F the rabbis.
Well, I didn't fuck him.
What?
Yeah, that's probably why I liked him.
Oh.
We only dated like 6 months, and it was like, and then he started being like, when are you going to learn Hebrew? And I'm like, no, we're not. I'm not. Oh, is this the wig thing? Like, when are you going to?
Oh, he wanted to do Orthodox.
He wanted to get married, and he wanted me to do, but it was always like a more reform kind of, it was the Kabbalah Center is where I was going.
Right.
Which is, I was going before
Madonna.
Yeah. I actually left because they let Ashton Kutcher touch the fucking Torah instead of my friend who they relegated to the back, and her mom had done all this like service there and stuff. I'm sure it's different now because
it's
Rome
showbiz.
always falls. Yeah, it
Hollywood.
was ridiculous.
So hold on. So you and the Rebbe, did you make out?
One time on Purim, because you're on Purim, you have to get so drunk that you can't tell the difference between good and evil, so that you can't judge.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, that was a fun one, except for when everybody's in the same giant room smelling and puking. But
what?
Everybody
from
like
being-
just smells
from-
because you drink and you dance and you're wearing
Okay.
costumes, and then you pass out and vomit and
Okay.
lay there in the big. There's like a big room. They
love
like clear
this.
out. Yeah, it was, that part was fun and funny. But he that night he called me outside, and he was like, come to the head rabbi's like dungeon or whatever it was.
The rabbinical dungeon.
Rabbinical dungeon. I
Yeah.
don't know what that's called. Like I don't know what
The
it is.
chuppah? I don't know what it is.
No, but close enough.
Yeah.
And then he like grabbed me and kissed me, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that you could. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Purim, we can do whatever the fuck we want. And I was like into it, but then the head rabbi walked in, and I was like, ugh. And then like the next day, this was my favorite part. Is the next day he's like, because he had a very thick Sephardic accent. from Israel. He was from Israel, right? He was half Italian and half Israeli, but he had a really thick accent. And he was like, on Purim, it's okay if you do mistake. And I was like, is that what happened? We did mistake. Like, okay. I think I should start like kind of backing out of the situation. Like maybe it's time. So yeah, well, he moved to New York to work there. And so we tried to have a long distance relationship, which was even funnier than just the Rebbe at my temple relationship because it was all over the phone. And he would be like, touch your knee. Touch your ankle.
Ooh.
That
That's
was
adorable.
Good times.
So Libby, so he can court you. He can do sexual things on the phone with you.
I think the kind of Rebbe he was, because rabbi really means teacher. And I think the kind he was because it was at the Kabbalah Center or whatever. Oh, we left this good part out. He was a palm and face reader, which don't laugh because I do the same thing. But that was his thing to do at the temple is that he would read palms and faces.
Palms and faces.
Yeah.
And what did he tell you? Was he like, you look like the kind of girl who should give blowjob on palm. Yeah, do mistake. Blow mistake.
Do a mistake to my penis.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Did his beard smell? Those beards are awfully thick.
He was very clean for
Tom's
somebody who
beard
lived
smells.
in a little tiny room on a mattress floor above the temple. He was real clean for that. My favorite story about him is and this is in the book, but he was moving to New York and he didn't know if me and him should, if he should pursue a long distance relationship.
Sure.
That was a big deal. So he had the in-house astrologer do my chart. And he asked me to come help him pack and say goodbye. So I go up there and he's laying on this fucking twin mattress up there. And he's got all these clothes that are like hand-me-downs because you live a life of not having a lot of stuff. Yeah. He's dedicated himself to the holy fucking cause. And he's packing up his bag and all his secondhand shit. And he's like, you are a... he started just kind of being rude to me. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, oh, you only care about status. And I'm standing there looking at him. Like I've been dating this man for 5 months. And
you were together for 5 months and you didn't bang?
6 months. We didn't bang. Well, because some of the months he was back there. So at this point it was
wow. You guys are really in it. I didn't realize how long this relationship
it was 6 months. Yeah. It was, and we kissed once. So that was the thing. But he had done my chart wrong and was telling me that I was basically in it just because he was close to the rabbi and I was trying to get close to the rabbi. And I was like,
that's silly.
I'm like, why are you saying all this to me? And then I saw these little papers in his suitcase and I pulled them out and I'm like, first of all, you got all my information wrong. He got my information wrong, had my chart done, read it. It was completely upside down and backwards. And then he was holding me accountable for it. And I'm like, Jesus fucking
for
Christ, you man
your
child.
astrological chart.
I mean, I'm into that, but yeah, I was like, that's hilarious. That's a good story that he's accusing me of being into status while he's...
Well, maybe he was into status. If someone accuses you and they really... I mean, I don't know. That's fucking amazing, though.
I mean, that would be scary to think your girlfriend was into status when you sleep on a fucking twin mattress on the temple floor.
And you were with him for a minute, and you didn't even touch his D. Or did you touch his D? Did you rub his D?
No, but we did transcendental meditation.
And?
I'm just kidding. Oh. I remote viewed his dick.
I was going to say.
I did a palm and face and dick reading on him.
Did you, when you were hugging on Purim, did you feel his boner ever?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. And
it was fine.
It was fine. It was nothing to write home about.
I mean, have you met a dick that's to write home about?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have.
You got his...
Do you have his number?
I mean, besides
he was a friend of Job as well.
Was this in the Valley?
No.
Oh. I need more details. You can't just throw something
I'll
out
tell you tomorrow at lunch.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow, she really went.
It was a real good one. Yeah, I
like,
remembered it because you know why we took photos of it back in the day, and this is when you had to. No, we're so stupid. We took them on a disposable camera, and then We had to go get them fucking developed at like Photo Mart.
That used to be a thing. Like the police would get called and they'd be like,
for your dick pics?
yeah. Like people who worked at the photo booths had seen more than your average like police officer, I think. Like they had seen a lot. If you talk to any of the people that worked at those developing booths.
Right.
And
but
they had to pretend they didn't. They just be like, here's your picture, Mr.
Of course. And so
Corset.
we took pictures of, his D, and we were like, you laugh, you're like, oh my God, rip, rip, rip,
But then you have the negatives and they're floating around somewhere.
Somewhere in
More
my
like
pocket.
positives.
I love you.
I love you. I'm so glad I came out here and get to see your face in real life.
I know.
Did you just say 5 under your breath? You fucking did.
5.
I know. I feel like that too. Oh, and the thing with my kids is that they span 20 years, like exactly.
It is literally hell on earth. Like you've got the eldest who's 25.
He's 21. Well, my brother, I have a brother who's only 4 years older.
Sorry, that's
than
what I'm
because
thinking
my
of.
mom is also trailer trash like me, so she also had 5 kids, and they were like,
oh my God, I didn't even
30
remember
years
that.
apart. Her span's even wider.
Right.
Like Brandy was 25 years. So my oldest sister was like 25 when my mom had her last baby, and she had him at 42. Wow. And I was his nanny when I was 20, 21. So that was like, he's really kind of like my first kid, sort of in a lot of ways. Like I learned a lot about, I was there full time, like 12 hours a day being his nanny for like almost 2 years. But that was like one of the highlights of my life. Like he's just such a good kid and I love him. He's a fucking 25-year-old boy now. So
Yeah.
not too many,
Yeah.
'cause he's a 25-year-old boy.
Yeah.
But him and my oldest are only 4 years apart. So they were like really close. And he took, Bach is his name, my brother, and my oldest son's name is Eitan. So Buck took Eitan to show and tell in preschool when he was 4. And everybody's like, oh, you brought your brother. And he's like, nope, this one's my nephew. So it was cute.
That's adorable.
They're cute. But he's 25. And then my oldest is 21 right now. And then I have a 16,
Eitan.
14, and 12-year-old. Yeah.
I can't believe Eitan's 21.
I can't either. I cannot
feel like
believe it either.
He was running around naked and peeing in the backyard just yesterday.
Was. I mean, he probably really was. Just
No,
at
mine
night.
do too, all the time.
I mean, he's 21. He probably is.
Maybe
gonna do
that's
that
my
tonight.
life. That's true. They don't stop doing that, do they?
No, they never do. Like Buster, my 12-year-old this morning, I'm like, where are you going? Because he's walking out the trailer. He's like, I'm going to go pee. I'm like, no, that's something we do in Hawaii that we don't do in a trailer park with somebody 5 feet away from us. He's like, I pee on the tire. What the fuck does that mean? Don't piss in our tiny little trailer space. I feel like that should just be common
No,
fucking sense.
they pee on everything. My kids
Yeah.
pee on the toilet seats.
Oh, yeah.
And then I sit on them in the middle of the
Yeah.
night without thinking.
I just wipe the seat automatically. I don't.
Someone
even look.
called in, Jack, our regular. He's like, I think that was Jack. He's like, just wipe the seats all the time.
Yeah, all the
And I was
time.
like,
You don't even have to
yeah,
open your
no.
eyes. You don't
Anyway.
even have to open your eyes. Here's
Yeah,
a good
go ahead.
thing though. If you have land, we had a mulch pile at one point because we were doing some farming practices.
Of course you were.
And somebody said, if you want that mulch to break down faster, you got to buy urea. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to Google urea. Don't do that. And it's pee.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, I got that for free.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, don't piss in my house anymore. You're going out to the pile. So the pile was like as big as this room. And they pissed on that pile and that shit broke down. It is black and beautiful compost.
For the
We grew the best potatoes out of that fucking
There's
piss
your
patch.
family business. Yeah.
Piss patch
They're
potatoes.
Piss patch potatoes. They were
By Jenny
stoked.
Pentland.
I can't
Pentland's
believe
piss patch
that.
potatoes.
Man.
Yeah, it was good. It was good shit.
I can't
But,
believe-
you know, you have that much pee, you start thinking about what can I do with this pee?
What can I do with all this piss? Yeah, and it's funny. I was even last night. I had people over. We were eating ribs, and then my 3-year-old comes out. I pooped. Now I gotta wipe his ass, and like I literally can go from like eating ribs, wiping shit ass, like diarrhea
And going back
ass,
to the
and then
ribs.
being like, this is delicious. Yeah, like
So-
don't even care anymore.
Yeah, you just don't. The thing is compartmentalization, which I think is the key to not just parenting, but being human and alive and also aging. Like everything has to get compartmentalized. So it's like, okay, I'm remembering diarrhea everywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm still eating. And those two things are separated in my mind. They both have their sensual experiences with them, or sensory, maybe not sensual.
No, you're right. Sensation.
I'm not into that.
Yeah.
But,
Sexual.
yeah.
That's wild. And you're
It's
right
all
about
compartmentalization.
it is. And it's funny because especially with certain kids, or, you relate to one kid more sometimes because you're like, oh my God. I was watching Ellis yesterday and I watched him go through a feeling and I was like, I know exactly where he is right now. Because he and I are made up very similarly emotionally. And I was like, dude.
And is your other one like Tom?
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
So it's like the 5 faces of my subconscious mind looking at my kids. I'm like, that one, each one has like one aspect of myself, but my 12-year-old is so much like my husband too. But my Cosmo is a lot like me to the point where I'll just glance up. We kind of glance at each other sometimes, and it's like me and you with the whole world of information that
you just know.
Yeah, we just know, then you end up feeling the most sorry for that child because you know what struggles that brings.
100%. Because I know what Ellis is feeling. Yeah. I really, truly know. And then you go into your own history. Yeah. And that's when you start flashing back.
That's why the compartmentalization thing there too, because I don't want to put my trauma, and there's plenty of it, and it's just fucking sitting there at the door waiting for somebody to open it. I don't want to put that on my kids if I can help it, which I can't apparently help. But I can try to manage it a little bit, I think. But yeah, it's like I have to have that part of myself, and then also, but you want to be honest with your kids too, and be able to be open and present for them. So that's it. It's all very hard. I think that's when people always ask me for parenting advice, and I'm like, come over to my house, and then see if you want to ask me again in 2 hours. But yeah, it's like all I can ever think to say is surrender. Yeah. That's it. Just surrender and listen, which is really hard. Even me knowing what I know, it's still really hard sometimes to listen because you want to be like, you see the pain that they have surrounding the beliefs that they have. And a lot, because reality is subjective, you see like 2 kids who are 2 years apart or less can have these completely different experiences. Yeah. In the exact same experience.
Which is crazy to me.
It's insane.
2 people can grow up in the same house and have completely different recollections.
Me and my sister are 13 months apart, and we had like completely different lives and experiences. And there's some things we can be like, oh yeah, we can both agree that was fucking crazy and whatever, but we just handled it in completely different ways. So, and when you have that dynamic, and then you have 2 kids and 2 parents, you don't just have 4 people in a house. You have, I don't know what the math around that is for how many dynamics that can be between 3 and 2 and 1 and all 4. So like you just can increase your dynamics in a way that's insane. And so having 4 of who are in the trailer with me right now, like, last night I was like, do you want to be the one to tell your friends that you got kicked out of a fucking trailer park because you couldn't stop saying the same thing over and over and screaming? Like, you don't want that on your resume. I got kicked out of a trailer park for screaming.
Yeah, I just had this fight with the kids last night. Ellis, Julian he calls himself Sir. He refuses to be called Julian.
Okay, that's the one I relate to the most.
So, the kids had a fight over Sir plus Sir equals Sir. No, it doesn't. Sir plus Sir equals 10. And then, like, Ellis freaked out and, like, went after Julian. I was like,
that's is like my kids.
Wild. Yeah, and I was like, yo, I don't
it doesn't stop. It doesn't fucking stop. Until they're, like, 22. And then they're like, oh, shit, we're out here on our own. There was actually a period this one time my kids were driving me insane. This was before I had the baby. I did not leave the baby home. But the other kids, I was like, fuck you guys, fend for yourself, call me and tell me whose funeral I need to plan. And that's all I want to hear. And I left and I went to the store or something. And all 3 of them were screaming at each other, all 3 of my middle kids. My oldest one fled when he was like 16, I'm sure, because of all those dynamics. But he was, he was back and forth, but he got a job. And yeah, that was a hard one too. But I just was like, just kill each other. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, just let's get this over with. Fight to the fucking death. Let me know whose funeral I'm planning, and I will get right on that. But for now, I'm going to get a coffee. And I left them, because you can do that in Hawaii too. Like, it's safe. But I think there were 10, 12, and 14 at the time.
Well, by the time I was 10, I was already home at 2 a.m. My dad was out at the bar. Like, fine. Great. 10. That's practically an adult in my life. Yeah, I mean, what are you talking about?
You're like,
fuck out of here.
Did he take the car and drive? No, because that was the 13-year-old thing to do, steal the car and drive. No, but when I came home, they were all getting along. And I was like, oh, okay.
See?
But then I was like, they have to really truly have that like Walking Dead mentality of like, there's zombies out there and everybody's trying to kill us. And then they can band together, like if they have the common enemy of the world.
That's true.
I didn't want to be that common enemy for them anymore, which it was a really interesting dynamic. I got home and like they had cleaned and done some things and made themselves food. And I was like, what the fuck
It's
are you
fucking amazing.
Yeah. So then after that, I was like, oh, I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. And their brains are like just dying for things to do because I was thinking, and you know, sometimes I'll piss me off and I'll be like, in another country, you would be in the army at 12.
Right.
You'd be killing other people's children. So shut the fuck up and push the start button on the fucking washer. Like, it's not that hard. Like, just be happy you don't have to watch the blood and life drain out of a child your age because you have shot him point blank in the face for your fucking cause. Like,
I know.
Sometimes they need that perspective. And YouTube has a lot of videos too, I'm sure you can. The
That
dark
is
web.
so
Dark
true.
web parenting.
It is like, like, especially with my 3.5-year-old, like he's getting towards 4, like just inching towards 4. And 4 to me is the magic number. It's when I'm free. That's when they put on their own shit. They're out of the diapers for good. Like, you're just like 4.
Yeah.
And so he still is wanting to like, Mommy, give me water. I'm like, you can get your own fucking water.
Yeah, that's what I
get
do
your
too.
own fucking water. Like, so it's just like doing that. It is.
Except for when they're like right at that age of like 7 where they can't explain concepts well, but they can tell like their teachers that my mommy hasn't cooked for me for a year. It's like, that's the part where you're like, wait a minute, it's true.
Yeah.
But I did fill the pantry with food and he knows where it's fucking at.
He knows where it is.
And I've seen him climb to the top of it. So
yes.
yeah,
I've
I've seen him climb it, and I've seen him. The food, I wouldn't eat it. What they make, I wouldn't fucking eat it. But it's food.
It's food.
And they're doing it,
but
and
they
they're
don't
learning.
want to eat. So they always tell you this bullshit, like feed the rainbow of vegetables, and it's like, bitch, they don't want to eat that. Okay,
Yeah.
Try giving a fucking 3-year-old kale or whatever nonsense. They don't want to eat that shit, dude. It's hot dogs and mac and cheese, and they're fine.
Listen to
They're
your
fucking
body.
fine.
Like, even if it's telling you nothing but sour gummies, just listen. But I mean, seriously, I read something about like
Listen to your
kids
body.
don't have the enzyme to break down kale. They don't have like brassica enzyme in their fucking stomach.
I'm sure that's
they
not
know it is. I swear to God. Have you smelled a 3-year-old after they've eaten a brassica?
I know, it's true.
No,
It's
they don't have the
fucking
right
gross.
enzyme, and they know it, and it makes them feel like shit. And fuck it.
Survivalist parenting. You just throw them out in the wilderness.
Yeah,
and
pretty
let 'em
much.
fend.
Let them piss on your compost pile. Dig up a potato when you're out there.
Yeah. The thing that like
can eat 'em
makes
raw.
me crazy is knowing boys in college who didn't know how to do their own laundry.
I was one of those boys in college that did not know how to do their
That's
own
what I'm
laundry.
saying. So like my goal is like, you're going to learn how to do this stuff because mommy's not going to be around.
Yeah, that's the older parenting part I'm talking
At
about. Because
18.
with my youngest one yesterday, we were at Home Depot and he was sitting on this thing he's not supposed to be sitting on. And I was
Always.
like, fuck it, I'll hold his hand. He can do it anyway. And so he was on this little cart and I'm pushing him and he's like, like he freaked out a little bit. He wanted down. And I'm like, then get down. What are you looking at me for? Get down. And I'm like, okay, I'll talk him through it. Sit on your butt. Put your feet off the edge. And he's sitting there looking at me and like, you know, he's 18 months old and he puts his feet off the edge. Okay, now stand up. And he did it. And I'm like, congrats. Now let's get the fuck out of here. But it's like, I'm trying to teach him, like, I know I could die at any minute. That's like with my 23-year-old, I'm like, let's fucking party. Let's go do shit together. Let's go to Disneyland. I'm gonna get season passes. Like, let's go
that's
do
nice
all the.
to know.
It was fun for a minute, but then there's the downside. For every good thing, there's something that can be perceived as not good. And for every hard thing, there's something really beautiful and easy.
Always.
And for everything that changes, something changes on that other side the same way. So it's always beautiful and it's always a magical experience. And it's always so cool to watch the whole world through not just kids' eyes, but like each kid is so different. It's like this, I'm like living every time I tune into one kid, I'm like living through their eyes and I'm able to be like, I'm a Gemini with a Gemini moon, so I'm able to be like 10 people at once with the 4 of me and my kids. Like that part's really, really cool, but it's also super painful because you're feeling each kid.
Yeah.
Each kid has different pain too. Like my oldest is very, very, very astute. Like he pays attention to every little micro thing. So I know about being hyper aware can be painful as shit. And then my 16-year-old is the most philosophical person I've ever met, just innately gets it. which is horrible and painful. And then like the 14-year-old is just all dick jokes. It's all dick jokes and they're really fucking funny, but he's got that like antagonistic gene that like me and you and just that shit starting thing. And that's painful too, because I'm watching him. I'm like, I hope he doesn't make his life difficult. And then the 12-year-old's just like the little firefighter, like mini Jeff, my husband. And he'll just organize shit and clean shit and vacuum shit. And
That's Juju.
he's like that too.
He's like, well, right now he's only 3.5, so he's still.
I saw it when he was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
He started doing the lower shelves at Target.
Organized, likes order, likes to clean.
Yeah.
Likes to,
Which is good. You need
Cars.
one of those to pawn all that shit off on.
Man.
It's
No,
a
you're
lot.
right. It's funny because like the things I love most in life, I can also be dreading them. Like I love stand-up comedy. More than anything, I love it. And then I hate it. I hate it a lot. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate the travel. There's parts of it
the highs are high and the lows are low. Yeah.
As with anything.
But that's the point of life too, I think. Because like I was saying, when you think about your deathbed, you're not going to be like, oh, I should have sat on the couch and watched a little bit more reality
I
TV.
know.
Yeah.
Well, because when I was on my ketamine trip, when I broke my ankle, this is true. You feel like you're
I don't
dying.
know this story. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in the ER and they gave me ketamine and I did have like an end of life vision where I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. The only thing that matters is my kids and my husband and my dog.
That's
and
awesome.
the people I love and the love. It's never about like, I'm so glad I did more work. I'm so happy I toured a bunch more or did, I busted my ass to do this. It's really about the people and
for sure.
And your love. And
what a cool experience and a nice way to get a near-death experience to just break your ankle and get some drugs.
Get some
instead
ketamine.
Of like,
pretty
they
wild.
gave Otis ketamine. My 14-year-old dislocated his elbow, and the medical care in Hawaii is sub fucking par. Like that's part of the reason I don't want to be there. But they just could not get it back in. They couldn't. This one doctor, my husband almost went to blows with him. I had to like go push them away from each other. But they just kept giving him ketamine, and like I was like, how much of that can you take before like he's a little bit too young for an awakening.
Yeah, did
and
he
I
trip?
can't have an awakened child right now. I have enough on my fucking plate. I don't know. Like I tried to talk to him about it afterwards. He did not want to wake up. So they ended up. It was a 12-hour ordeal, and they ended up having to put him under and
12 hours to
transfer
reset
him
his
to
bones?
another hospital. Yeah, it was a disaster.
That's terrible.
And I almost was close to getting arrested and close to like it was there. Don't ask my husband about it ever. If you want to know the story, ask me when he's not around. Because unless you want a fucking 12-hour tirade,
I won't ask shit. I love how you guys get all scrappy. The Pentland,
I get
you guys are
scrappy
so
with my
funny,
kids.
dude.
Like I can handle anything now. I can fucking handle anything because I have been.
Jenny's a rebel, you guys.
I can't stand when people.
Yeah, you
do
always,
things.
but you always like even in 7th grade. I love this. There was always Mr. Roberts. Remember that pervert teacher? You didn't like Mr. Roberts.
Yeah, if you know somebody's a pervert, it's your duty to just be like, and in a lovingly, jokingly way, right? I didn't go, you're a fucking pervert.
No, you just drew cartoons about it.
We
and
just drew
stuff.
cartoons. We made jokes.
Yeah.
We had a song. We would imitate his voice.
Yeah,
Go, anybody who wears a tight sweater tomorrow gets extra credit. Do you remember that?
I do.
I can still do the
Formative
voice.
years. But oh man,
And then Nigel, I still remember
so
Nigel, the hottest
hot.
guy. He had long hair and he was just really hot.
Skaters.
It feels gross now because I know he's 12.
I know.
But he was hot then to me then. But he looked over at Mr. Rogers one time.
I remember this. I know
and
where
he
this
goes,
is.
Hey, Mr. Rogers. And he's like, what? And he's like, are those hush
puppies?
Are those hush puppies about his shoes? And me and Christina fucking lost it. I don't know.
Lost it.
That's the funniest thing I've ever
Are
heard in my
those
whole
hush
life.
puppies? I mean, for a 12-year-old to come up with something that sassy.
Yeah, it was really sassy because hush puppies, do people know they were really
don't
ugly
think.
loafers back in the day? And they were like,
They're like
low
orthopedic.
class, orthopedic, working man loafers.
Hush puppies.
Oh, there we go.
So
but no, you
dumb.
got to get the ugly 80s
Those were
ones.
those were better. Like those.
Those are
black
kind of
ones.
cute. Fuck, I might need a pair of hush puppies.
Hush puppies. I know.
No, those were not those ones on the left, the more moccasin-y looking ones.
Oh my God. I mean, if anything says I don't like getting my dick touched, it's those fucking ugly.
Well, by adults. Because Mr. Roberts did
He's a
not like
pet.
getting his dick touched by adults. Yeah. Those are pedo shoes. If you see those under a stall in the bathroom, get out.
Pedo shoes.
Those are pedo shoes, right?
The official shoes of pedophilia.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, hush puppies.
They're not called pedophiles anymore. What are they
Child
called?
attracted.
Yeah.
To the child attracted. Okay.
I think everybody wants to get healthy, but the hardest part is knowing which supplements to take. And I know it's such a nightmare when you start getting into this world because you're like, what does this one do? What is that one? Is this enough? This is why I love GEM. Did you know that nearly 90% of Americans are nutrient deficient? There is a massive misconception that just because you eat healthy, your body doesn't need anything extra. Our food system today is broken, and so even if you eat a well-rounded diet, it's impossible to get all the nutrition you need. GEM solves this issue by filling the gaps in your diet with daily nutrition in one delicious bite. GEM believes in eating your vitamins because food can't fit in a pill. It's not a snack and it's not a vitamin as you know them today. Capsules, pills, gummies, or whatever. It's real food. It's real food designed to make you happy and healthy. GEM is the first multivitamin, get it? Vitamin, that you eat, not take. It's nutrition dense and it's designed to replace your multivitamins. It is so much better to take than a million different pills. I love GEM for how easy it is. If you want to check out GEM and try their seasonal favorite, Citrus Ginger Daily Essential for yourself, we have a special offer for the Where My Mom's At audience. Go to www.gemvitamins.com/WMMA or enter WMMA at checkout for 30% off your first order. That's gemvitamins.com/WMMA for 30% off your first order. Thank you, GEM. I think too, the middle-aged crisis thing, like where you're just like, oh. I think too, there's a point where you know too much because you've experienced a lot of life, and now, you know, like the older you get, the more you're like, whoa, this shit is fragile.
Yeah.
Like people die now, people get sick. I have friends that have died, and you're like, it's like this awakening, like, and especially with the pandy. You're like, oh, there's no government that cares about me. Like you're in the wilderness, man.
Yep.
Existence is terrifying if you really think about.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, and like how much.
That's why you wake up in the morning and go through that movie of who the fuck am I supposed to pretend to be today in this existence? Because it's a construct. It's a construct, and it's not. I don't know that it's a good one. Like all of the constructs, I'm having a little issue with that, and I think that that's the midlife thing, is that you start realizing that all these things that you thought were real are constructs. And you're like, oh shit, I don't want to live in this fucking matrix. Even if the steak is juicy and delicious, I want to know what's real, because I'm probably going to die soon. And I don't know like what your belief system is, but I think this is like a place of growth. And you stop growing a little bit in midlife because you're not having as many experiences and you're staying at home or doing whatever. Most people, a lot of people switch their jobs, and I think you get a real hunger for growth. Like you did when you were like, say 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, you're right. Like you want to like believe that there's something at the end of the rainbow that's just amazing. And then you're like, oh, this is it. But then maybe it's also realizing that like, oh, but this is miraculous.
Yeah, all the little things become miraculous.
Yeah.
And you remember when your grandma used to be like, oh, this baby's precious
My
little
grandma?
miracle. And somebody's.
Remember my grandma?
Grandma's, okay, not yours, but
She's
other
a
grandmas.
real piece of shit. Not mine.
Okay, like walking down the street with your baby.
Yeah.
Like at Home Depot, the lady's like, he's precious. And my husband goes, precious? And I'm like, you're in Texas. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Play along. Just say, yes, he's precious. Don't tell her the truth. I'm sure she knows somewhere and just forgot it. But that is like, you forget the bad shit and you just start remembering the good because you're grateful. You have a gratitude that you're alive and waking up in the morning to replay that fucking Christina record.
I know.
Remember who.
And it's not like I do like my life. I think I'm really, everything has turned out great.
Yeah.
But then you do just freak out a little bit. You're like, oh my God, I could fucking die tomorrow.
Yeah.
I could really die.
It's true, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I have a baby and I could die. And you have young kids. It's a different kind of thing too. Because then you're like, oh shit, I got to like teach them how to fend for themselves out in the wilderness. It's like, it is like a fucking zombie apocalypse just waking up in the morning as a parent.
Sure is. Now, on to some follow-ups, really important topics. How come there are no hot Republicans? We were talking about this on the last episode that I noticed that there are hot Democrats, but seldom do we see hot male Republicans. The
males.
women are hot as shit on CNN.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't see any. Now, any thought Calvin Coolidge? Didn't
Snoop?
you like Calvin Coolidge?
Yeah, he has fucking cool in his name.
That doesn't make him.
Hot,
Make him
but
hot.
is he hot?
Yeah, but it makes him cool. That's all I was saying.
All right.
I didn't remember what he looked like. I just remember he had cool in it.
He's not hot.
No,
bro.
that is not. I mean, here's the thing, though. If you're looking at him
gross.
saying he's hot, it's because what he's comparatively to other people.
Yeah, to that.
I mean,
fucking-
to Trump, who'd you fuck?
I don't
Fuck,
want
marry,
to.
kill those.
Oh, fuck all that. I can't even.
Kill.
Ay. I think if I had to bang a Republican in recent times, maybe GW, the
Junior.
Bush Jr.?
He's a Gemini, yeah.
He's a well. That's obviously why. That's why.
He's
how
an
about
artist.
you? Yeah, he was
Yeah,
cool.
he's
Like
an artist, at
I
least.
liked him. Like, look, he's the hottest of the last. Not his dad.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that face from Too Many Men in Denver.
No.
Yeah.
Who
Come
would
on,
you bang?
you wouldn't bang Calvin Coolidge over this guy?
No.
Come on.
I don't know. I feel like you could dom
What are you
Bush
doing?
a little bit more, though.
You could what?
You could
Dom.
dominate.
That's what I'm
this one,
saying.
Yeah.
No. But
The
he
other
likes
one you
weird
could act
stuff.
out like some kind of Nazi fantasy because he kind of he had that Nazi face, Calvin.
Yeah. This guy likes
He just
pegging.
looks like he wants to fucking do some testing on you. Yeah, he likes to be pegged.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
GW is open.
Yeah,
to-
he'd be into like a threesome with Calvin.
Yeah.
That's the way to do that one.
He does seem like more beta vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You could finger his butt. Anyway, apropos our discussion. Listening to episode 133 talking about hottie Republicans, Don DeSantis, bro.
Let's see a picture.
Let's see it. He's gorgeous, not a former prez, but maybe a future one who I would yank my jeans high and tight for. I got a DUI, baby. I actually did, she writes, Sharon. You would yank your jeans high and tight for that. Well, look, I mean, relative to what we've been looking at,
No, can't do it.
he's not my type either. Ugh.
I mean, I like the short tick thing a little bit, but I don't know. It's that hairline. Like, that's just, I feel like I'm going to get fucking murdered in the back of his van. Anytime anybody has a hairline like that, I'm like, oh shit, that's like.
Okay, hold on. I've got one. Rick Santorum. Rick Santorum. He's attractive, isn't he? I'm trying to remember. He's attractive.
God, no. What is your Nazi thing? They all look
You
like
think he looks like a Nazi?
Third Reich. Yes, they all do. It's that bird face thing. They have no lips and they just have a scowl that just like
He
is
could
like,
get it.
ew, women. Ugh.
I'd give it to Rick Santorum.
I would like sit on his face till he suffocated, maybe. Sorry.
He would
I
like
think
it.
there's a name for. Is that smushing or there's
Definitely a word.
Yeah, there's a word.
No, he looks weird. Like he's into kinky shit. This guy
yeah.
pretends like he's normal and he's not normal at all.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he does the whole flag and the books behind me bullshit.
Yeah,
this
that's
guy's a
true.
real
He's naked from the
fucking-
waist down in
Yeah,
all those
he's a-
pictures with some fucking cock ring on.
Yep. He's a degenerate. He's got a leather harness on under that fucking suit.
It's like-
okay, we've got a voicemail. Let's hear it about the
Hi,
hot.
Mommy. I'm currently watching your most recent episode, 133. You're asking for hot conservatives. I don't agree with the views, but you need to look up Dan Crenshaw. He is a Texas representative from the 2nd District in Houston. It's gerrymandered as fuck, so it's totally corrupt how he got his roles. And he's just kinda
He's
whacked.
Okay, no, I get that one.
But he's really hot. He's a Navy SEAL. He's got an eye patch. He's cute. You
Bro,
gotta look him up.
she's right.
Bye, Mommy. Love you.
Crenshaw can fucking get it, bro.
Yeah, I'm.
Dude, he's hot as fuck. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's got the fucking eye patch,
At
bro.
least he's got the John Cougar Mellencamp vibe. Like he's got the more Midwestern kind of. I don't know what. Maybe it's the flag in the background.
You know what? I've never seen a guy in a suit with the eye patch, and I like it. Oh, I like him in his uniform. Come on. This guy fucks. This guy gets it.
Yeah, maybe.
He gets laid, too. I like him. Wow.
I don't, when your whole personality is your eye patch, though. Oh, but he was.
It's not his
on
fault.
SNL with the other.
But it's not his fault. Like, he probably lost his eye in battle.
Yeah.
Here's another hot Republican. Madison Cawthorn can get it, writes Karina. Now, is Madison a boy or a girl? Oh, okay, it's a boy named Madison. Oh, he can totally get it. Holy shit, this one wins.
Yeah, because when he's smiling, he's cute.
Oh my God, he's really good looking.
He's really good looking.
He's really hot. With a German Shepherd
Is
out
that what
there?
he's... Yeah, no, he's hunting for...
Look, he's got a hot chick. Dude, this guy's hot as shit.
Yeah, he's cute.
All right.
I don't know, that hair kind of threw me off. He's cuter than the other ones. And he looks complicated. Like, he looks like he's a little bit fucked up.
He looks like the villain in Euphoria, like the guy that's super good looking, like the big athlete character, and he's dark as shit inside. You're right.
Yeah, there's something
Darkness.
to be said. Maybe I'm into that.
I'm into the darkness.
Yeah, it's the goth thing.
He broke up with someone.
He looks like a goth girl dream right there a little bit. Yeah, complicated.
Okay, Madison Cawthorn can get it.
You were
It's
right.
hot. Okay.
I have a feeling too that if you talk to him enough that you could convert him from a Republican. Like he's one that might have like where you could be like, no, but like marginalized people, you know what I mean? Like it's probably hard out there for people who don't have all the privilege. Like then you could compare it probably to having like problems walking and stuff. Like it's probably hard to function. It's true. That's true. You have to have empathy.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it is a little ironic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like when you're sitting there and you're like somebody who is like marginalized themselves on the accident. Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, I don't want to hear about this. Okay. So I read this article. Oh, you're breastfeeding.
Yes, I am.
I read this article that in India, there's a thing where dudes are enjoying getting breastfed by their wives.
Oh, that's everywhere.
Yeah, why do you say that like you know? You're
that's
like,
a thing.
I didn't know that's a thing until...
it's a thing. It's a bodybuilder thing. It's a fetish thing. There's,
a bodybuilder thing.
Yeah, they like the breast milk. Like it has all the things that...
If Jeff were to be like, I'm really into feeding... Would you?
Fuck no. I have enough people on my teat. I don't need nobody else. But I mean, he won't even. I'm like, just tell me, like, what does it taste like? Like, he won't even. He would not even taste it. And I'm like, what is your problem? You have hangups?
It's sweet. It's good.
Yeah, but when somebody's like that, you want to push and be like, what's your problem? You hate tits? Do you hate women? Do you hate tits? But then, he's like, no, it feels disrespectful. Like I wouldn't eat my kids' food off their plate.
By the way, I love that you think
that's disrespectful to not.
You're like,
drink my
and
breast
then you're
milk.
like, just drink it. Why? Like how you assume everybody has that same emotional reaction.
Well, just like, I'm like, could you taste it? Like, I was like, what does it taste like? Or so, I don't know. I'm like, would you, I think it was this conversation where I was like, would you drink breast milk? Like, cause guys, like when you're having sex and you're breastfeeding, like sometimes,
lactate.
yeah. And you'll drip or whatever in the beginning stages. And so, I asked him, what's it taste like? Oh, I don't know. Like, and I'm like, there was a hang up there and I needed to know what it was.
You had to drill in there.
Yeah, I do that.
Down.
It's really fucking annoying to be my partner because I'm like, what? I'm sorry, what do you, and it's not, no, it's not in a mean way. I'm just like, oh, you wouldn't be able to say that thing that you just said unless you had this belief system. And my husband's really good at going, you're right. Oh my God. Like, I mean, he's really good at that. Thank God. Cause
interesting. Cause then you're like, well, why, what are you afraid of breast milk for? Because it belongs to the mommy.
Yeah.
Well, when you're saying that mom can't fuck, is that what it is? Like, oh, the women are either whores or virgins.
There is an element of that. I'm like, is this a virgin? I say it in a calm way because I really want to know. Is this a virgin mother whore thing? Like, is it hard for you to differentiate? Yeah. And it's hard to sexualize my boobs when they're also food for somebody else.
It's so hard for me.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. And like, I understand. And I just want to talk about it.
That's nice. And he's open to that?
Oh, yeah.
Tom would be like, shut the fuck up.
I sometimes wish he would say, shut the fuck up.
Tom would be like, what?
No,
stop.
I mean, we had
getting divorced.
He didn't listen to me for a long time, and then now it's a new thing.
Oh yeah. Now
it's like, oh my God, you're right about certain things.
Oh,
and like microaggressions and that kind of shit. Interesting.
Microaggressions, yeah.
Well, we've been through a long 3 fucking year period. This last 3 years has been really difficult. And it got to a point at one point where we were like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore after 21 years or whatever. And in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say, it's been that we've decided that we are going to continue to try to like communicate and do all that. Yeah.
Good.
We have 5 kids. I mean, what you do. And actually, it's better now than it's ever been, which
Good.
is weird and fucked up, but is what it is. Because life is a big fat mess.
Yeah, it is. It's a big fucking mess. So I asked someone to write in and tell me the details about breastfeeding their spouses. And here we go.
You got an answer?
Of course.
People are so proud.
It's the fucking
They love
internet.
to fucking just talk about that shit.
I know.
You go, girl.
Because I love it. I love these weird things. Okay.
Did you get both our perspectives or just ours?
Hold on. It says
Okay,
it says I'm a cool girl that breastfeeds my boyfriend. And so a lot of times people will be like, oh, I wear a dog mask and I get a tail put at my butt, but it's not sexual. They're always like, fetishists always for some reason deny the sexual components. I think that's how they continue to do what they are doing, like compartmentalizing, speaking of. So she writes, it's definitely sexual. He had previously had adult nursing relationships and was pretty open early on about it being what he was into. Breastfeeding my adult partner was not something I'd ever considered until he introduced me to the idea, but now I love it. It has allowed us to have intimacy beyond what I thought was possible. I love the idea of being able to provide all his basic human needs at once and feel fully in my divine feminine energy while we cum hug. That's neat. Neither of us are into any sort of age play. I still see him as a masculine grown man and not as a bearded baby when he suckles on my mommy milkers.
Must be nice for a married couple.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as like the woman. I'm trying to like picture Tom fully bearded, and suckling, and me not picturing him as an infant. I think I would struggle.
Or it being sexual. It's kind of an either or. But I guess if it's basically like a drive-through, like McDonald's kind of thing, you stick your titty out and they drive up and get their shit and go. Is he eating? Is this a nutritional?
He's eating.
But
it's sexual too. They cum hug. They fuck.
Okay, so that's all right. I think that's more understandable than if there was no sex.
That's what I'm saying. Then you do have to infantilize him in order to do that, to fulfill that fantasy of like, it's not sexual. I just infantilize my husband.
I guess I don't know, the divine feminine shit, that one gets me sometimes because I'm like, you say what with that intent and the goddess shit, what? Like there's a lot of shit done under that umbrella that probably isn't divine.
You mean like drinking your own menstrual blood or urine?
Just like making paintings with period blood or whatever. Aside from like a accidental Jackson Pollock with the Diva Cup or something, like I feel like when you're intentionally like making all of that. All of
it
that
is
shit.
just mental illness.
I think that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Get your life. Okay. It has been a lot of extra effort to produce and maintain a milk supply, but it's a daily task that he has shared the responsibility of. The extra roundness and firmness of my breasts has been a big added plus too. It has ensured that we both make uninterrupted time for intimate experience daily. That's kind of cool, which keeps our bond strong. See, that's what I understand. This idea of the service of, I think that now that makes sense to me of like, but it's this thing we do every day. It keeps us connected. That part I intellectually, emotionally get.
Yeah.
Like if I got to maintain this milk supply, come on, let's go breastfeed.
Just fucking do that
every day. But it's probably easier for the woman. I don't know. I'd rather fuck every day than
breastfeed. Like I'm already trying to get this baby out. I'm just like, God damn it.
You're still doing it 18 months?
I'm trying to show him where the pantry is. Yeah, I'm still doing it. I've always let them just wean themselves, but he sucks at it.
In a social gathering, we often may slip away together for a few minutes to drain the hangers. A breastfeeding session doesn't always lead to sex, but we are both turned on by the experience, so it does usually lead to some fooling around. I'm not sure if it's because my nippies are extra sensitive, but I often finish just from feeding. We also do it sometimes as we're falling asleep. It's euphoric and relaxing feeling for both of us. I don't feel the need to come out to all my family about what makes me come on a national TV show, so they'll never have to see these big tits fart and find out where it spits. Keep mine tight. I'll be coming up in May. But we say these stuff. We're always like, why do you have to be out about your fetish?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just do what you do?
That's true.
You know, your grandma doesn't need to know at Thanksgiving that
nobody
you breastfeed.
used to talk about that kind of shit.
No.
You're just like kinky and like someone would come in your house and see something and they'd pretend not to look. And
it's
it was
fine.
just respect.
Well, that makes sense if it's like this intimate thing that you do.
Well, hormonally too, like you produce oxytocin when you're breastfeeding too. So I'm sure, and I think it's in your milk too. So it's probably just a drug kind of thing, like a oxytocin thing.
Yeah, and I like the idea. I mean, I like
You kind of seem like you're into it a little bit.
now I'm like considering, like, should I get back to
You're like, fuck,
lactating?
you can probably.
Well, I just remember how sweet it was when your baby falls asleep breastfeeding on you.
Yeah, it's fine when your baby does it. If my husband's doing that, I'd be like, get the fuck off, and it's hot in here, and your fucking beard hair is rubbing my nipple. Yeah, I'm wondering more about like lanolin, like that kind of like.
Yeah.
He split my nipple like 3 weeks ago, and it hasn't healed all the way, and it's the worst pain of my life. And I have to tell everybody to be quiet in the room, but you don't want mastitis. So
it hurts.
So I'm wondering if she has to like do all that kind of, and the lactation cookies and shit.
I know.
It's a whole but then you're thinking about sex all the time, maybe, because your whole world is kind of wrapped up in preparation. And
I just can't imagine, because when I breastfed, it's like right after you give birth, and you're just so not sexual.
Yeah.
And I actually, when I was breastfeeding, I did not like being sexual.
Yeah.
It was too much of a mind fuck. It was like,
it is weird.
Ooh, like I'm milky and you want to bang me? Okay, I guess. Like I would do it.
I guess I got over that after
5
years. Yeah. But yeah, that part, it's you just don't. Yeah, it's hard to be sexualized when you're it's hard to be the virgin mother and whore at the same time.
Yes, I agree. Because even for me to go into sexual mode, the kids have to be asleep or out of the house. I cannot fuck hearing them crying in the next room or like the threat of them running in. I'm like, dude, come on. You're like, I just fucked my husband
In the trailer,
all the time.
it's not all the time.
You have
But
to.
enough.
Let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about it because it's private.
Inside. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
private.
Let's do some more follow-up voicemails, Mommy.
Hey, Hitler. It's your boy Jared from North Carolina. Love the show. Love everything YMH. I wanted to call and share with you, I guess it might be my own Pazsitzky effect, but
good.
I'm a truck driver, and in the course of my career, I've come across 2 mini fridges. And, yeah, I keep one beside my chair in the living room, and I got another one beside my bed in my bedroom.
Good for
The
you.
one in my living room acts as like a coffee table or like a end table, and the one in my bedroom acts as like a nightstand. I keep them both stocked with water.
Fuck yeah,
Nothing
dude.
better than waking up, dehydrated from drinking and being able to grab an ice cold bottle of water from the side table. But anyway, yeah, I heard you guys talking about it, and I wanted to share with you guys. I thought I was just trash, but apparently this is this is the move here. Anyway, you guys are coming up in May, and hot sauce is the best.
That's a new one. Hot sauce is Eddie, dude. We got a hot sauce is the best thrown in now.
Cool, man. Super cool. Love you.
That's our latest meme on the
Thanks.
show, and because Annie
sauce
said
is the
it,
best.
hot sauce is the best, and Tom was like,
That's not.
hot sauce is the best.
I would
not
have made
how
fun
I-
of you too.
That's not. I didn't say it like that.
I heard it like
I
that.
didn't say it like
It
that.
seems like everybody else heard it like
I
that.
fucking hate everybody in this house. Everybody get out of my house right now.
Wait,
We're done recording.
You don't like hot sauce though?
Have you heard his song, Hot Sauce is the Best?
Oh my god.
It's
It
just
is-
that over and over.
Dude, and once you unleash the mommies on something like this,
It's over.
Have you seen Garth Brooks' social media page?
Oh, no.
You gotta look at Garth's Instagram. It is fucked because of our podcast. It's so fun.
really?
Yeah, we completely torment this guy. Every
Garth.
comment is like, "Where are the bodies, G?" 4 strokes. I like that. You bet he's coming up in May. Different. Hot sauce is the best. There it is.
Does he have
There
any
it
idea
is.
what's going on?
No.
Okay.
No.
There it is again.
Suck a souffle. Hot sauce is the best.
Fuck you, hen dog. I saw that shit.
It's so fun. Yeah, this is awesome. The internet is a marvel.
That's painless trolling. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's fun. And we actually, whatever. So let's do some Pazsitzky effects because these give me so much joy. These are, as I was explaining to you before we started recording, where you do something wrong your entire life. And then like that guy was just saying, and you're like, oh, I can have a cooler wherever the fuck. I can put a tiny fridge under this desk. I can have a space heater wherever I want. I can wear a jacket when it's cold instead of just suffering.
Yeah.
Because I just suffer for
It's
years.
amazing. I thought I was the only one that did that. I wrote a chapter about that in my book because I really was like, God, I didn't realize how fucked up I was. Like I had no idea that I just.
What was one that you were like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong?
The one I wrote about in my book was like, I'm always cold Always fucking cold.
Always cold.
And,
same.
you know, I get out of the shower and I'm freezing. So, like, I hate taking showers. Like, I will take a bath where I'm submerged in boiling hot water so that I get so hot that the second I get out, the water evaporates and I'm like dying of, like, I'm overheated for like 20 minutes. And I thought that's the best way to do it. And it turns out you can buy a bathrobe. And so after I sort of fucking got it was 25 years, my mom had a really nice bathrobe. And maybe it's because she had more money or whatever. I was like, that's really the lap of luxury. Like, I can't afford a bathrobe. I just stopped even thinking about it as an option. And then eventually, when like maybe a few years ago, I was like, I could get on Amazon and buy a bathrobe.
Yeah.
And I did it. And it came in the mail and I put it on. I was like, holy fucking shit. And I wore it for, you know, I wore it over my clothes. I wore it and I was getting used to the idea. And then I bought another one.
Yeah. You can have as many as you want.
I can have 2 bathrobes. I bought the same one twice. And then I used it all the time. Then I went back to doing the hot water method because it just
yes, you always revert back to your original. Like
it's true.
I didn't dry myself off for 44 years. I would just kind of pat, and then try to put on like Lululemon aerobic clothes or whatever, and be angry because they would stick to my body. And then so for a while I was pretty vigilant about drying myself off, and then I slacked. Yeah. And then the other day I was like, why won't these fucking pants go on? Like, oh yeah, dummy.
Remember that lesson? You do have to remind yourself. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put my thing in the washer one time. I never saw it again. That's the problem in my house with like.
Oh yeah, everything disappears.
They steal it, and also it gets to the bottom of the pile because it's too hard for them to figure out how to hang that on the thing. I make my kids do my laundry.
Good. You should.
Yeah. No, I know. It's 90% theirs anyway. I don't change my fucking clothes.
Of course. What was I going to say to you though? I forgot. But yeah, I think it's a poverty, a poor thing too, because growing up, you think like, well, who am I to afford an Amazon robe? Like, am I I think I'm a fucking millionaire. Yeah. And like, you don't have to be a millionaire.
Yeah, but it's $30. It's in the back of your mind. Yeah. It's not enough in the front of your consciousness for you to confront it. It's just sitting right there in the back, like whispering in your ear. You can't have a bathrobe.
Yeah, you don't deserve it.
You don't get a bathrobe.
Yeah. Well, let's do some more voicemails, more Pazsitzky Effeccts. These are my fucking favorite things.
Christina P. This is Carlos V. from San Diego.
Oh.
I got a Pazsitzky effect. I was walking my dog here in Southern California early in the morning, and it's been getting cold, and my hands freeze. And I was like, how do I remedy that? You buy some gloves, you dumb son of a bitch. Anyways, you can just go out and buy gloves. They have them everywhere. So that's my Pazsitzky effect. Keep that shit high, keep that shit tight, baby.
Yeah. So my kids, you know, it snowed here in Austin a couple weeks ago, and I just hadn't thought to buy gloves for my children because we never had snow, you know? And I was like, I was thinking that too. I'm like, but their hands are going to get so cold touching the snow. If only there were something I could put on their hands. And then I just
dipping
put
them in
socks.
paraffin.
Yeah,
socks work.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, I'm fucking idiot. Yeah, you forget those things have been invented.
Yeah, and there's a solution for almost every problem. That's the whole thing about everything.
America.
Yeah, capitalism. I was going to say.
Yeah. All right, let's do another one. These are fun.
Hey, my name's Luke. Don't call me Daddy. I had a Pazsitzky effect for you. I'm watching a new episode of YMH, and it fucking reminded me of one that happened like 5 years ago, maybe, like a fucking flashback of my biggest Pazsitzky effect. So I was dragging my foot across the carpet, making fucking dust balls, and picking up fucking dog hair and dust balls, and I was like, wait, I wonder how normal people do this. And then my friend looked at me, and he was like, use a fucking vacuum. Anyway, I'm a dumb bitch. See you next time. Love you, Christina P. And shout out to Dr. Nadav and Annie. Mwah. Mwah. You're gorgeous.
Boy, these shout outs, they're really masterful. You guys are really putting a lot of thought into these. You can use a vacuum. You know what you can even do? But I have a problem with those hand ones, the hand vac, the little ones.
That's what I have in the
They stop working after 2 fucking minutes. What am I doing wrong?
The filter's probably full. You probably have to take the little thing out and clean the filter off. Yeah. Especially if you have dogs. Yeah. Yeah. See? We got to all talk to each other because everybody holds the key to a little bit of information.
So stupid. And I bought 2 of them. The Black & Decker thing. I was like, well, this doesn't work anymore. This one goes in the trash. Buy another one. And now this one doesn't work. Oh, I'm such a dumb bitch.
Clean the filter.
Fucking idiot.
Well, I learned that one the hard way because I'm like, why is it on fire? My husband's like, you have to fucking, and the same with the dryer. I'm like, it smells like smoke. Yeah, you have to clean the filter because it's literally like a tinder box. And you're, yeah, you have to do that.
Fucking idiot.
I had no idea. My husband's really good at the practical things or I'd be dead.
Oh. Neither Tom nor I are good at the practical
That's
things.
That's part of the problem. Like, yeah.
Comedians, 2 of us, we're fucking idiots. That's how this segment came about. Because we were like, everything we do is
we're
just
stupid.
Dumb and dumber. Yeah.
If you realize you're stupid, then there's hope because you know you're stupid. That means that you have the capacity to not be.
Yeah. You know what helps is we have these cowboys that come and do our, we're building a wall to keep out the minorities. We're building a fence in front of our house. It sounded so racist when I called it a wall. I was like, that's not it.
They ruined the word wall.
Yeah, I didn't. We're building the fence, okay? It's a goddamn fence.
You moved to Texas and immediately built a wall around your house. Yeah. I can see that.
But we have these 2 cowboys that come around and help us do, construction jobs.
Practical
and they're
things.
so fucking practical. So
You're
they'll
like, can you look at this vacuum? Tell me what's wrong with it?
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, they're fucking great. All right, one more.
That's all. I need a couple of those.
You need cowboys. They're so practical. They know what's
Hi, Mommy. I'm Haley. I was watching episode 133, and the Pazsitzky Effeccts, the Alaskan guy with his sunglasses debacle, reminded me that I had my own sunglasses Pazsitzky Effects a few years ago. I am extremely, extremely nearsighted, meaning I can't see my hand like a foot away from my face without my glasses. So when it came time to driving and I need sunglasses, I just put my sunglasses on top of my glasses. So I was wearing 2 glasses at the same time, like a dum-dum. I looked like a fucking idiot all the time. Didn't care. I had to do it.
Why is this my favorite? I love
this. It took me a few years
this.
to figure out that I could just buy prescription sunglasses.
Yeah.
Made me look a lot less stupid.
Oh.
They were more expensive, but it's a necessary evil.
Well,
Hitler.
Thank you, Hitler, for sharing that. I went to get my prescription renewed yesterday, like to upgrade it because I'm getting blinder every fucking year, and I was like, I'm such an idiot too. I had this epiphany that I can have as many reading glasses as I need or want.
You can just leave them everywhere.
I leave these here. I can leave one at the other studio. I can leave one pair by my bed. I can leave another one in my office. Yeah.
One in the purse.
Yeah. Instead of being beholden, like I got this one pair of reading glasses. I got to hold on to these. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I can get
That's what I would
5. 5. They're cheap.
Well,
it's America.
I have yesterday or the day before, my 16-year-old wears glasses and he was like, something's wrong with my glasses. My prescription changed
Cosmo?
overnight. Yeah, Cosmo.
No.
And we went to a trampoline place and he couldn't jump because he couldn't see. And he kept handing me the glasses and saying, could you clean these for me? And I'm like, they look clean. And he was freaking out thinking he was dying, brain tumor, or whatever. Us Jews do that. Like he's got that gene. So we go back to the trailer later that night and my husband's like, has anybody seen my reading glasses? And I'm like, are these them? And he's like, no. And I'm like, who the fucks are these then? Like, who's in our trailer when we're not here? And turns out Cosmo had Jeff's reading glasses on the entire day and didn't know. So yeah. If you have too many reading glasses around.
That's true. He thought he had a brain tumor probably.
Yeah, he did.
I'm fucking dying.
He sat there at the trampoline place all quiet. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Poor baby.
That was pretty funny. I'm like, you're 16. I'm still making fun of him. Aww. I'm like, stand in front of him and do one of these. Like, can you see me?
You know what I hate is when you get your prescription upgraded and then they're like, well, we gotta dilate your pupils, look for tumors. I'm like, bitch, I don't have a tumor.
Yeah.
I know I don't have no fucking brain tumor. Stop doing this to me.
I asked him the 20 minutes that you're sitting there.
Yeah.
You're like, when did... And
like,
have you seen that thing about the flash? Like somebody had their brain tumor diagnosed because somebody took a flash photo of them and it hit gave them red eye and they could see something in there and they went and got checked and they had a tumor and it saved their lives. So my sister, who is far worse than me or Cosmo, the worst of all of us, like the most like anxious and all of that, she was taking pictures of my kids with the flash on during the day. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, nah, I'm just taking pictures. Turns out she was trying to diagnose them with fucking brain tumors. I'm like, could you just go sit down?
She's the best. Yeah.
She is amazing. But yeah, it's hard to live like that.
The reason we're goth is Jessica.
I know. Now she owns a cleaning company and is like an upstanding citizen of the United States and just has a lot of anxiety.
For everybody. You know what's interesting is that, you know, all these goths that we grew up with and punkers and, you know, everybody's so quick to label kids now and define it and what are you? It's like the boys I dated in high school wore fucking skirts and black makeup. Yeah. And nobody was like, what are your pronouns? Are you queer? Are you gender fuck? What are you? Yeah. It's like, dude, I don't know.
That's the privacy thing too that we're talking about. It's like you don't need to discuss your kinks like with everybody.
Well,
like,
yeah, or maybe they're just Jewish Valley kids who want to explore wearing skirts.
Maybe you have a narcissistic parent.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not about. But see, look, we all turned out like we were given this freedom, which is kind of cool. Like imagine if social media had been around when we were growing up.
God,
it's so mortifying.
Yeah.
We were given the freedom to be assholes. Yeah. And now now we're upstanding fucking Gen Xers.
I give my kids the freedom to be assholes in the privacy of our home. And I'm like, do not do it online. Do not do it in public. But here, anything goes. So, I mean, I pay the price for that quite often because it is just dick joke after dick joke after dick joke. But at the same time, it's hilarious.
I like it though. That's the one thing I'm glad about having boys is like they literally spread their assholes open and
mine are not as disgusting as like I thought. Yeah, I was really surprised, except for the 14-year-old farted on the baby yesterday and thought it was really fucking funny. Yeah. Like the baby was crying and he just walked over and farted right on. I'm like, don't fart on my baby. Don't do that.
But see, I encourage
there's some of the farting stuff. But
I like that slapdick shit. Like this is the house that farts built. You know what I mean? Like, come on, your mom's house and Studio Jeans.
That's true. That's a good point.
I love. Okay, we'll do one more, and then I gotta get going. I gotta go because my fucking.
Let me see a picture.
Oh, my nanny wants fucking time off.
She gets paid for it.
I have to go to the doctor for a mammogram or whatever. Who cares?
She's probably getting her uterus removed.
Yeah.
So
we'll come back to work tomorrow.
She's like, fuck this shit. Getting her ovaries taken out.
I got kind of a Pazsitzky effect. My buddy was shopping for a new toilet seat or a new toilet, and I asked the guy if he could buy the toilet without the toilet seat because for his entire life he has just been shitting without the toilet seat up and just right into the bowl, ass cheeks on porcelain because he thought toilet seats were only for females. Better know I'm coming up in May. Thanks.
What?
Bye.
So wait, is he straddling the toilet and shitting downward? Like, is it a gravity shit?
No,
he's sitting on the
cold bit. You can. I mean, look, you can.
He probably doesn't have hemorrhoids.
No,
because of the cooling.
He thought it was for women. Oh, you know why? Maybe he made the connection because men have to lift up the toilet seat to go pee, and maybe he thought, oh well, that's for the girl needs the seat down to pee. So maybe it's just for women that deserve a toilet seat.
I know. I kind of feel bad for him now. I'm like, I sort of want to breastfeed him. I'm sorry, sir. Somebody didn't show you the toilet seat enigma.
No.
Come here and get a little suckle. I think I get the breastfeeding thing when stuff like that happens. You're like, ooh, come here. Nobody showed you how to use a toilet seat. Although my kids will probably be telling stories like, and then I had to climb to the top pantry to get the... They'll probably have some.
Anyways, I'm so glad you're here, Jenny.
Me too.
I love you. And I hope you live here so that you can come and do this show more often.
I'll definitely be spending more time here regardless if I live here or not. Wherever I tow my trailer is my home.
Such a gypsy. Guys, buy this woman's book. She needs the money. Please.
They don't pay me after this.
Never mind.
I don't even try to fucking...
Don't even get the
People
book.
are like, do you want me to promote it for you? I'm like, do whatever the fuck you want. You're promoting it for HarperCollins. Go ahead and do that, though. Is what I meant. What I meant was buy my book, read it, then buy the Audible and hear me read it.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that one's good because I actually corrected some things that got by in the book that didn't get by when
And there's a story about Jenny and I in there, illegal activity.
Yeah, that goth shit.
Mm-hmm.
It started with a run-in with the law.
That's right, homie.
For me, because
I'm
going to tell one part. I'm going to tell one part.
Why did you get all Southern? I'm going to tell one part.
That was my Colorado voice. I'm going to tell one part.
2 days in Texas. And
okay, me and Christina did something bad and illegal, yet Christina fled while I stayed behind doing the right thing.
Bitch, I told you to run. Didn't I fucking grab you? I was like,
you
run.
didn't.
Yes,
No,
I did.
You did not. You
Yes,
just
I
disappeared.
did.
I don't blame you because you were a child. And I'm pretty sure it was my idea.
Come on. Dude, I did tell you.
Because I went straight into that Midwestern, I'm sorry, like, how can I make this right to the guy who busted us? And I turned around and you were gone.
Me. You followed me. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. I remember.
She remembers.
You followed because I was running. You were behind me.
No.
He was in the military, and that's why he caught you first.
Yeah. We ran. We started to run, and then he went, stop.
See, so I didn't leave you behind.
No. He took us both in his backyard. We were both in the backyard, and she's casing the fence like a fucking tiger at the zoo. She's walking back and forth, and I'm like, what is she doing? He goes inside to call the police. He said he was going to go call the police, and he said, or I'll call your parents.
Oh,
if you give me the parents' phone number.
Call the police.
I was like, here's my parents' phone number.
Call the cops.
I gave mine. Yeah, she was like, call the cops. I'm like, call my mommy. She'll get me out of this. And she's still casing the fence back and forth. And I turn and I look at him on the phone and I'm like, oh, I'm really going to eat shit on this one. My sister had already been locked up for bad behavior. And I'm like thinking all the things that are going to happen. And I turn around, this bitch is gone. She fucking jumped the fence or she found some like hole. She got out. And
I'm
I was
a
like,
survivor.
I was jealous.
I'm not gonna give up.
And I just sat there with my hands in my lap until my mommy came and got me. And she gave the guy some money for a new paint job. Anyways, read the story. But yeah, I think I was nicer to you in the book.
Yeah, much nicer.
I was like, oh, Christina, she took the high road or something. Literally. Yeah.
Listen, I was scared. I
know. I was
parents.
never mad at you or blamed you for it. I was
like you were
jealous. I was jealous that you had the balls. Who had the balls? The second that military voice came out.
Oh my
See, that's
God.
where the cellular memory comes in. I'm like, yes,
terrifying.
sir. Get in the train. Yes, sir.
But see, my ancestors were like, we're running. Fuck this country.
That was smart.
Yeah.
That's
No.
Somebody in my lineage ran. Somebody did. Somebody got out. So,
if I had a time machine, Jenny,
what would you do? Nurse Hitler.
Not do the crime.
I would get Hitler on my tit and be like, suckle this titty bitch.
Then we'd go back and I would go, Jenny, we're going, bitch. And I would grab you. I don't remember. It was all blur.
It was a blur. That's because you were in fight or flight instinct and I was in freeze
panic.
instinct. And yeah, we can't be held accountable for our behavior.
Oh God, I'm going to have to talk to my therapist. All right. I love you. I still love you. All right.
I love you. I'm really not mad.
No, I know you're not.
Let's have a do-over. Let's go do something illegal while I'm in town.
Let's go find that guy's
house. And you
house.
fucking sit there and take it and I'm going to run away.
Okay.
She's way too into that.
That sounds
idea.
exciting, actually.
All right, let's get drunk and go do something wrong.
Yeah, let's go fuck some shit up. All right.
Does your nanny want another kid?
No. Oh my God. All right. We got to go. Until next time, stay cool, moms. Thank you.
Where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where my mom's